Here we go, guys. Welcome back to the CP5 project. I got a special guest with me today, a man I've known all my life. This handsome gentleman right here is Mr. Cody Perez. Yay!
What up, ladies and gents?
And this episode is brought to you by absolutely nobody because I don't have any sponsors, and this is just for fun. So
Hell yeah.
we'll get started first off with the Dallas Cowboys. I know we had a rough 2020 season. So with Cody, what were your expectations coming in compared to the outcome of this season?
Man, to be completely honest, as a lifelong Cowboy fan, and you know this, the way this past decade has been an up and down type of scenario. They get our hopes up,
Yeah,
then it comes down, then we're like, we're shitty, and then it comes back around, they're giving us hope, and it goes
those
straight
motherfuckers,
triumph.
they did it to us again, man, with that hope there at the end.
Although I will say I did have a full circle come through with Dak. I do realize we do need him. I do realize he may not be the best option, but he is the only option that we have.
Yeah, I agree. Going into that conversation, I think with Kellen Moore being, re-signed and not going to Boise State, that gives some optimism that Dak's coming back because he's not going to re-sign without a quarterback, So I think that was why he came back. And then, maybe Jerry threw him a bunch of money, but who knows? But
Yeah,
going back to Dak, if you put him on anybody else's team, that makes that team better. So if you put him on the Colts, that team's a pretty good team.
yeah.
Put him on the
Phillip Rivers.
yeah,
Yeah,
and then New Orleans is probably going to need a quarterback. Tampa is probably going to need a quarterback after those guys retire. And the Niners, there's a long list of teams that need a QB that could pull Dak away from Dallas, but
he has a lot of leverage right now.
absolutely, and Andy Dalton, I thought it was interesting. He thought he played well enough to be a starter for somebody else, which could be, but he's not staying in Dallas this year.
Yeah, that's for sure. I don't know if you saw, I don't know if you looked at film or while you were watching the game. I saw a few instances where Dak would have ran that in easily.
Yeah. A lot of those sacks that he took in this last game, there's some holes that Dak usually gets out of, and Andy can't do that. Obviously, I think he's like 33, something like there, but the guy couldn't. Yeah, he doesn't.
Center blocks for legs, for feet.
Yeah. So it's gonna be really interesting. I hope they sign him soon, so we're not waiting till like March or even into the summer, waiting to find out if we have Dak or not.
Yeah, for sure. I don't think it's gonna take that long. I think they're gonna push it quick. I'm hoping.
I really hope so. It's a very delicate process, I guess, because he wants a lot of money, but I think this year without him, it showed that he's worth it. It's just the market keeps going up year after year after year. That's why you see all these guys break all these records all the time. So going into April's draft, I think the draft's in April. I could be wrong, but what do you think they go after?
10th pick, right?
Yeah, 10.
I'm hoping we go defense all the way, like defense or offensive line.
Yeah, that's one big thing. Offensive line because of the injuries, obviously, but man, they suck this year.
Dude, our line couldn't stop anything.
A nosebleed. And then going back with running the football, what I saw on film, it was one guy, not anybody in particular, but it was always one guy that couldn't make that block that was getting to Zeke, before he could get going. Zeke, I was watching some old film on him. He's definitely lost a step, but it doesn't help when there's a guy already in the backfield diving at his legs.
Yeah, there's always somebody missing an assignment, no matter what.
Yeah, somebody. And I think Connor Williams, the left guard, I think that experiment should be over because his rookie year was he's too small. He wasn't strong enough. So he put on some weight over the past couple of years, and the guy
was too slow.
Yeah, well, he's still not strong enough. He's getting thrown around. And so I've looked at some draft prospects already. I'm going to make a video with some guys that Dallas should go after. But yeah, it's definitely defense. It's definitely offensive line. But I've even seen some mock drafts where Dallas takes Kyle Pitts, that damn tight end from Florida.
We do need a tight end.
Well, I mean, Dalton Schultz, he showed out like with Blake Jarwin going down, but they could also use it as trade bait, because what I'm thinking is, I don't know how long this trio is going to be together with CD, Gallup, and Amari.
Yeah.
I think they're going to use Gallup as trade bait, to try to get fucking whoever's out there, some type of free agent.
I've seen some rumors that we're going to use Zeke as trade bait.
Yeah, but that $90 million makes a difference.
A little bit.
Zeke said. So I don't know, because we got Gallup for one more year, which would be this year. Amari's already signed, and then CD's a rookie. So I don't know. It's going to be tough. There's some really good players in this draft that Dallas has the opportunity to go get. So I really hope that these Jones boys, Steven and Jerry,
I hope they get their shit together.
It would be nice, because it sucks, man. We're getting made fun of, sometimes deservingly, but we get made fun of a lot for being Cowboys fans.
Every day, man, I put on my paint, my clown mask, just get it ready. Let's go.
Yeah. Same here, man. So, all right. So we go on to Oklahoma. I know you're a big Sooner fan. So why'd you choose Oklahoma?
Why?
Yeah.
Just fuck everybody else.
Yeah.
Just kidding. Nah, man. Just, Lee's a fan.
Right.
Brother, even though he doesn't like to admit it, former fan.
Yeah.
That's where I got my first hat from, was OU with him. I don't know, man. It's just a winning program. They've put out some studs throughout the years.
Yeah.
And then, as I gotten older, gotten more involved with it. Going to my first game in Norman.
Right.
Cold as freezing, but it was fun.
I bet.
We won the championship. I think that was our fourth one when I went. Then we're on to the sixth. Man, I like what Lincoln Riley's doing with the entire program. I think his offensive mind is definitely there, but I am finally happy that our defense is making some progress.
Right, yeah, because they sucked for a while.
Oh, they're god-awful. You can stop for anything.
Yeah, you mentioned with getting a hat. I worked with a guy, he's a big Bears fan, and he's no ties to Chicago or anything like that. And they're like, why are you a Bears fan? He's like, somebody gave me a hat when I was 5 years old, and always loved them since then. But Oklahoma, man, they've put out some studs recently. Lincoln Riley, you're right, has been really good at making his quarterback ready for the next level, at least being able to compete at the next level with Baker, the little guy Kyler Murray, and Jalen Hurts. So
yeah, definitely. I hate seeing the Eagles down.
No shit, I hate it. And going back to the draft with the Cowboys, what people don't realize is that teams usually draft to compete against teams in their own division. So that's why the Giants have a really good front seven. That's why the Eagles have a really good front seven, and same with Washington, is because they have to stop Zeke and Saquon. So it's kind of one of those things. And back to Oklahoma. So I know you're a big Baker fan, and I am too. Ever since he got drafted, it's one. I was telling my wife this. He's like, that's a guy that I want to play for, because he's very passionate. He's intense. Sometimes he's inconsistent, but he's got this Browns team into the playoffs. So what are your thoughts on Baker?
Man, I think it's just a matter of him getting settled in, the team staying healthy there, in all honesty, in Cleveland. That team was so up and down in the beginning when he first started. The fact that he won as many games as he did his first year was mind-blowing.
Right.
But, now that they're healthy, they've established a run game. If their defense can stay more consistent, that's where they need the most help right now. Offense, I think he's figured it out. I think Baker's figured it out for the most part. He's finally caught up to speed. Baker's just a stud. He adapts. He makes it. He figures it out.
Yeah, I hope they beat the Steelers.
So do I. Hate the Steelers.
Yeah, that is exactly for Tony right there, huh? Yeah, well, one of our buddies he's a big Steelers fan, and he was giving us a lot of shit in the in our group message that we got going on. But Baker's been he's been killing it there in Cleveland, and I hope he makes some noise because I know a lot of this is kind of a weird thing to say, or a lot of people will disagree. Is I think they have, if they make it that far, I think they have the formula to beat Kansas City as far as their really, really, really strong running game. Because
Yeah,
Kareem
that run
Hunt
game is
and
that two
Chubb,
headed monster.
yeah, they are killing it. And things you got to do in the playoffs to win football games is stop the run and run the ball. So, but
Speaking on the Browns, Njoku would be a good pickup too. Like I bet you they're going to use him as trade bait.
yeah. I mean, he's been. I know there was reports he wanted to get out of Cleveland, but that's probably before they started winning.
Probably.
Winning kind of changes everything. And I know, especially when I did the film on the Cowboys and Browns, that offensive line is nasty. Those guys are big and they are strong.
They push people around.
Yeah, they are big and they are strong.
Well, I feel like the Browns, the old Cowboys.
Yeah, Bill Callahan, I believe that's his first name. Yeah, he was. I guess he just knows how to talk to offensive linemen. Like Mark Colombo when he got in a fight with Joe Judge there in New York.
Yeah.
So moving on, we'll go to boxing, combat sports. I am a casual fan. I will watch it if it's on ESPN a lot, like with Lomachenko. That's where I kind of was like, oh, this dude, he can fight a little bit. I've seen, and then was it Lopez Teofimo? He beat up on him. So we'll start with boxing. Who's your favorite boxer?
Dude, right now it's kind of like a toss-up. Like it's just so everywhere right now. I kind of just watching, man. Sergio Gutierrez. Sergio Martinez was my favorite fighter at one point for a long time, and then he kind of got dethroned, kind of disappeared, doesn't even exist anymore. Right now, man, I would say the biggest up-and-comer, Ryan Garcia, El Rey Flash.
Yeah.
Dude is fast, man.
Hey, is he gonna fight Tank?
They're talking like they are. That's the fight that I'm hoping for, man.
Yeah, that's one thing I was gonna ask. I've been seeing a lot of Twitter beef between those two. Now, what I get the sense of from social media, especially from our friends, is that Tank is going to beat him up. Is that's gonna happen? I'll watch the fight if that happens. I know I saw highlights of Garcia's last fight.
That one knockdown. Yeah, I'm hoping it humbled him. A lot of people don't like him because he's cocky, like real cocky.
Yeah.
And then they're calling him. The reason he got cocky is because he has that pretty boy mentality, kind of like old school De La Hoya, where
the golden boy.
But De La Hoya, like he was a scrapper. Like even though he was a pretty boy boxer, like he had the moves, he could dip, duck, and then throw that jab, and then that left hook. Garcia's kind of the same way, but way faster. Way faster. I don't know if you've seen his videos on his.
Yeah, I've seen that, and I've seen a lot of. I've started things that impress me. Like I saw him punching a little fast and stuff. I was like, God damn! And then I look at it, and they're like, oh, those aren't real punches. They're just like he's not even extending his arms. I start seeing videos that impress me that I'll go and I'll look at the comments just to see, if it's right or if it's wrong or this and that. So
I don't know, man. Like he has a lot of hype behind him. So, and I do agree to some point that his record is padded. He's cherry picking some of his opponents. So the fact that he's actually going after Tank, making the call out, I just really hope they solidify the fight, make it happen. Like that's gonna be the best fight.
Is that gonna be the next big fight?
Yeah, that would be one of the next big fights.
What do you think about the Paul brothers, or more specifically Jake Paul?
They're trash.
Yeah,
they're trash, but they got money. They can draw crowds. Like that's what they're doing. But
see, that's where I think he's a troll master right there. Because whenever he called out Connor, in that video that he did, like the guy knows what he's doing as far as the business sense. He loves being the villain. Because I don't think me as a casual fan, I don't think he can fight even at Connor's level. You know, because he just beat up Nate Robinson just for fun. You know, and I've seen a lot of
He went Nate.
yeah, yeah, Nate. Well, you know, you got a lot of these NBA guys that were calling him out. You know, I'd fight him. I'd fight him. Now, do you think the reason he won was because Nate doesn't know how to fight? Or
Oh, absolutely.
Know how to box, at least, I should say.
Absolutely. I mean, Jake's been in it for a little bit, so he knows a little bit of the feel. And you can tell by the way he stands there. Right. If you look at the fight, whenever Nate, he was like lunging to like even punch. Right. It looked like he was going into a street fight.
Yeah, I was watching, or I was listening to Joe Rogan, and he mentioned that that punch that he knocked out Nate with, like that's a real punch. That was a real calculated hit. So I was wondering if it's at least legit a little bit that he could fight, but it looks like he's just in it because he's got a lot of money and he wants a lot more money.
He's actually training. So from everything that I've seen, he's actually training. He thinks he's a legit fighter, but he's not elite like he says he is.
Right. Did you see him?
Can he beat Conor? No.
Did you see him throw shit at Conor's trainer?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he just ran away, or just drove away, whatever. But
yeah, that dude's a piece of work. I don't know what the hell. Like the fact that you got like Henry Cejudo, whatever, Triple C from UFC.
Yeah, I've seen a lot, and I saw Nate Diaz talking shit too. You know, yeah, I would like to see that. You know,
I'd like to see the Diaz and the Paul brothers go at it.
Yeah, we already know who's gonna win that because
the Stockton slap.
Yeah, that's a pair of brothers that I want to go into a bar with, and I know that everything will probably.
Oh yeah, they're crappy.
Yeah. So going on to the MMA, who's your favorite MMA fighter? UFC, doesn't matter.
Man, right now I don't really have one either. Like in all honesty, like am I a Conor fan? Kind of. It's just he gasses out too quick.
Yeah. Why? Why is that?
Man, I don't know. He gasses out like in 2 rounds, like 2.5.
I've noticed that he does that. You know, he's got real knockout power, but is that something that you think he's relying on?
Yeah, that's exactly what he's relying on. Yeah. If he doesn't make it past, I mean, yeah, you're fucked.
Yeah. So what'd you think about the Conor Mayweather fight? Mayweather just fucking with him?
Happen. Did you see the video where his dad was saying play with them?
Yeah, dude.
Play with them.
Yeah, that's
I think.
Yeah, because I think Mayweather said that he would make it go 10 rounds.
Yeah, that was it. He could have ended it way earlier.
Yeah, he could have, and it's funny, but it's just those guys made a boatload of money just for.
Isn't Mayweather fighting one of the Paul brothers now?
Yeah, I don't remember which one, but I saw that. I don't know if Mayweather just. I mean, that guy's probably got a crazy spending habit, so he might need a few extra $20 million or so. Who knows? But that's something that I would watch because I'm the casual fan. You know, like I would watch Logan Paul or Jake Paul get his ass knocked out by Conor if they fought. You know, but how do you turn down? How do you turn down $50 million? If he's sending a check to me for $50 million, I'd probably do it.
Because Conor's probably like this. Who the fuck is that? He doesn't even know who he is, probably. Like, he doesn't care. Like, the dude wants to fight real fighters. He wants to fight elite fighters.
Yeah, he's got a fight coming up, doesn't he? Dustin?
Yeah, Dustin Poirier. Like, I think it's the 23rd.
Yeah. I see. I watch Conor's fights because, I mean, I like Conor as, you know, him just being a dick to everybody all the time. But, you know, I do appreciate, you know, after him fighting Diaz, you know, the humbleness after it, you know, like, oh, fuck, great fight. They're both bloody as shit. You know, fucking good job, man. Things I missed, though, are those big names that we used to, like Rampage and Chuck Liddell and Yoda. Yeah, there he is. Sorry, I went Blake there. You know, seeing those guys fight back in their prime and going to Buffalo Wild Wings and
Anderson Silva, man, that was my boy.
Yeah, fighting Chael Sonnen and all those guys. You know, that's what I miss the most. You know, I don't watch as much as I used to. You know, because of those guys are now old and retired, and now we got this new crop coming up, like Francis Ngannou and
That dude, oh man. I don't know if you saw this thing that I posted the other day. Like, who do you want to go into a bar with? Like, which group is like A, B, and C? I picked all the boxers, but then there was boxers picking, hey, all I want is Ngannou. That's it.
Yeah,
Just
yeah. That's a monster of a dude. That's a large human walking this planet. You know, it's crazy how these guys get so big and all they want to do is beat up other guys.
Yeah, but whatever.
Yeah,
Teach their own.
Yeah, no shit. You know, other than that, man. How was life in San Antonio?
Oh, pandemic, chilling. I mean, it's everywhere, man. I mean, it's just, what can you do?
Right. Yeah, I know it affects people differently, like me and you, because you got hammered pretty hard
Yeah.
and I didn't. And my uncle Lee got it, and my grandma got it. My grandma, all she had was a cold, basically a cough. And then Lee got fucked up. Like his was just all, like a 2-week hangover.
Yeah, dude, mine was like in my bones. My bones were hurting.
And my wife got it, and she was in terrible shape. She still struggles with it a little bit, And
I will tell you, I do get dizzy every now and then, still randomly, just out of nowhere. I could be standing perfectly still and just all of a sudden start spinning. Yeah. For no damn reason.
Wow. It's crazy with this stuff, with this pandemic. This is one of the reasons I got into this, is because when the world shut down, I had no work. We were locked in here. And I started with the Cowboys because of, I didn't have anything else to do. I've always wanted to do podcasts or stuff like that, but I never got around to doing it. And then when it shut down, started ordering equipment and started doing, these videos and stuff like that. And then one thing that really pushed me was I went and picked up my daughter, Carmen, for a couple months. And for the first few weeks, we had to isolate by ourselves. My wife and my stepdaughters went to, my in-laws, and it was just me and Carmen. And I was like, man, what do I do? It's like, I'm just here. We'd have to hang out with her, and she would get tired of me and go over there. So I'd work out for a little bit, play some Call of Duty. I was like, man, I need to really, really start doing this video stuff. And that's how I got into all this stuff. That's why I got into doing this stuff. And I'm glad I did, because I got tired of fighting with people on the internet and typing a paragraph. And then the whole mood's changed already because, another play just happened. I could be like fucking Jalen Smith, who fucking sucked this year.
Man, his ankles were god awful. Could not make a tackle, could not stop a run.
There's a thing he said that was really interesting after the game. They asked him, hey, are you going to be back in Dallas next year? And he goes, well, if you look at the film, guys who know football, guys who watch the film, know our scheme. He goes, I'm good, basically is what he said. And that tells me one or two things. You don't want us to turn on the film, because I've seen where he's a liability in coverage. He can't stop the run. And he looks for eye candy. So like what Baltimore did to Dallas, a lot of motion and counters and misdirection. He's running that way and ball's over here. And the second thing that tells me is that he somebody's reinforcing the fact that he's good. Somebody's telling him, hey, you're doing a great job, Jalen.
Bro, he has his agent. His agent's hyping him up.
I guess somebody is, but the guy's just not good. I don't know why he had such a good year a couple years ago and then has taken shit ton of steps back. The only thing I can think of off the top of my head is that his body's not allowing him to do this anymore. He had that real bad knee injury in college. Yeah. That's the only thing I can think of, because
I was going to say that, or changing coaching. I mean,
coaching could be it, but the scheme can only take you so far. Like, you're supposed to be here, but you followed the play action. You followed this, or there's that one video I did with the Eagles on a 4th down play, and him and another player are running out to the flat, and the middle of the field, you got two receivers wide open. But we can count on Carson Wentz being trash, and he held to the ball, and that's where Van Der Esch was able to get the sack on him. But yeah, he has not played well. I know I read a couple months ago that Dallas wanted to restructure his contract or ship him out of town. But, obviously that was a while back, so who knows what's going to go with that. So,
what do you think about Meyer to the Jags? $12 million.
I could see that if they get Trevor Lawrence. I think that would be a good match.
Oh, that's in heaven.
So, but Urban Meyer, he's been away a while, but those coaches he's young-ish for a coach, but they always got that, that itch to come back. He wants to. I know, he almost ended up in Dallas. So, but him and Trevor Lawrence, I think, would be a good matchup there in Jacksonville and Duval. So, so who's going to win the Super Bowl?
So I'm going to predict that it's going to be KC and Green Bay.
Same here. I think, Green Bay's probably got the only realistic shot at beating KC.
And Mr. Rogers, that's a bad man. And he's playing on another level right now.
I hate it, but he's so good.
I do too.
But so good. Like when he beat us in the playoffs a couple of years ago, whatever it was. So
Dez caught it.
Man, I know it. Dez caught it. And speaking of Dez, he's out there catching touchdowns now for Baltimore.
I'm just happy to see that man out there on the field again.
Same here. That's why I was going to switch my allegiance just for a little bit to Baltimore just because of Dez.
You know where my allegiance switched to.
I know. But Dez and, I don't know. Baltimore, they're good. They got a really, really, really good quarterback. It's just he's so one-dimensional.
Playoffs.
Yeah, he's one-dimensional, though, so. I think they played the Titans again. I think. I could be wrong, but Derrick Henry.
Yeah, the Titans.
Yeah, Derrick Henry's like 6'12", 400 pounds. I mean,
2,000 yards.
Yeah, just throwing guys out the club left and right, like what he did to Josh Norman, and then that old Cuzzy from Detroit he just threw around. Yeah, that's a big.
I don't know how you're that big and that fast.
Yeah, and good for him, though. He hasn't shown any signs of slowing down, but
no, that dude's a literal tank.
Yeah, it's a guy that you want to just fall down. Hopefully, he trips over you, and we'll go.
Where's trample you?
Yeah, anyway. Yeah. So who else we got out there? We got those teams we just mentioned: Tampa Bay, New Orleans.
I swear, if Tampa goes, we all know Brady's the reason.
Yeah, Brady's fucker is really good sometimes, man. He makes some bad mistakes. But he's also, he threw for over 40 touchdowns this year. And that's a lot for his age, for everybody.
So, yeah. You know what I wish? Romo to be the head coach.
Romo ain't leaving that booth.
Nah, hell no.
Romo ain't leaving that booth. I think he would be pretty decent. He's very offensive minded, obviously being a quarterback. Or
maybe OC.
Maybe,
but you won't make nearly as much money.
No, and then you got to deal with that stress of being a quarterback basically again for the team. So Kellen Moore, I think it's possible that they're just grooming him to be the head coach, because what Dallas does is they like to rise from within. Like so Garrett was a former coach or a former player, stuff like that, and so I see that happening because Kellen Moore is creative in his play calls, but he's still learning. There's some of the decisions are probably not all on him, but at the same time, for instance, like if Dallas being inside the 1 first and goal and not giving Zeke at least a shot, to score. But
I question that every time.
I know.
Like you're paying the man. Give the man the ball so he does what he's paid for.
Right. Now, what do you think with whenever Zeke didn't play and Pollard had a pretty good game? Well, I lied. It wasn't a pretty good game that he had. He had average game at best. He was averaging like 2 yards a carry until that 40-yard run. He only ran for like 63 yards.
True.
But
I think he just brings another dynamic. He's a little bit more explosive.
Yes, and he is definitely a home run threat. Which is good to have. I just don't.
But he's not.
I don't like the hate on Zeke because why can't they both coexist? Like your Browns, they have 2 running backs. Why can't Dallas have 2 running backs?
Because he's not. So.
He's not what?
I don't think he's a workhorse.
No, absolutely not. He didn't do it at Memphis, and he's definitely not going to do it in Dallas. So, and he can't pick up any linebackers coming off. We saw that in this last game where one of Dalton's sacks that was on Pollard. And then like a few plays later, or maybe the next drive, you see Zeke picking up, I think it was Blake Martinez coming through the middle. And Zeke, I know Zeke, he's not perfect. He got ran over a couple times in the year, but still at the same time, Zeke's a better blocker, but Pollard's a better pass catcher.
Yeah.
And he's definitely a home run threat. So
yeah, he's quick.
He's very good. Like he's a good, solid number 2 running back. So I would just like to just stop the hate on Zeke a little bit. Even though, like I said, Zeke has lost a step, he's
lost sticky in his fingers.
He'll be able to produce. He still almost ran for 1,000 yards. He was only like 20 yards off.
Yeah, it's just freaking insane that you have running backs out there that are just freaking like excelling, man. And we had a guy who was excelling,
right?
And then see a season like that, like this.
Yeah, it's just everything that Stephen A. is right. Everything that could go wrong will go wrong with the Cowboys. And Zeke, he mentioned that he had been hurt all year. He had his bad hamstring, and then and his calf and his quad. But maybe that's just a fact of him, knowing that going down, him just trying too hard or doing too much. But
so honestly, after going back to what we originally talked about in draft day, defense, line, backup QB. DiNucci is not.
Garrett Gilbert. He's the one that almost beat the Steelers.
Bro, the Steelers are overrated.
Yes, they are, but I think Garrett Gilbert will be okay if we had him as a backup. You got a random number 3.
Man, he was trash at Texas.
Well, that's why he transferred. He had no shot against Alabama whenever Colt McCoy went down.
We need to do this again.
Yeah.
With all the other fucks.
Yeah, we'll get the club together and we'll do what we did that first time we jumped on this and just start bullshitting a little bit. And didn't I tell y'all the Bills were gonna win? You bastards, y'all laughed at me.
You did call it.
Yeah.
The Bills flew under my radar for damn sure.
Nah, they were really good last year. I say really good. They were decent, but you could tell that something was going on over there. As far like that defense is pretty good. Josh Allen's gotten a lot better than he did last year, so they're not somebody to take
lightly. All the way to the Super Bowl and lose.
That would be mighty Bills of them. Mighty Bills of them.
Mafia. I feel like that Bills Mafia deserves one.
Hey, Bills Mafia, they are some wild folks out there. I've seen a gender reveal where they put nobody knew the sex of the baby, like except for the parents, and they were showing their family what it's gonna be. So they got this little table made, and they put the baby through the table, and they revealed what gender it was for the rest of the family. Like that ain't Bills Mafia, then I don't know what it is.
Bro, Bills Mafia is crazy.
Yeah, they got a good fan base. They haven't been treated like the Browns. Browns have been fucked for a long time. At least Dallas, we can always go back to the 90s or something, but Browns, Bills, Raiders had some glory days too, but Raiders, they've been in a...
Speaking on the Raiders, they always start hot and then fade off.
Yeah. They have like it's kind of crazy because they played. I really thought that they were gonna beat Kansas City again. Whenever they played, and they almost did, but they didn't. But they. You're right. They come off a hot start. They usually have pretty good players, but
And then when they lose, they get wrecked.
they do.
They get wrecked.
And the black hole, the Las Vegas Raiders. At least they get to go home to Vegas, I guess.
Dude, I am telling you. I said it in the group chat. They are the Cowboys of the AFC.
Yeah,
With
yeah.
how they get their season started high, comes down. You
It's
have
our year,
hope.
bro. It's our year.
Yeah.
It's our year, but I don't know. We got a couple Raiders fans as good friends. This is Adrian. Your dad's a Raiders fan, isn't he?
Part time.
Kind of, yeah.
Part time Raiders fan. He has a Raiders hat when the Raiders are playing against Cowboys hat.
Yeah. So it's funny. We got such a good group of friends. We got Cowboys fans, a couple Eagles fans with Oscar and Mark, the Tony with the Steelers.
Hey, get that terrible towel ready, wipe them
Ugh,
tears.
terrible towels, man.
Ugh.
You know, Big Ben, man. I don't know. He's a little sketchy here and there.
Man, they've been playing like complete garbage these last like 3 games.
And can you believe we took Taco Charlton over T.J. Watt? That still blows my mind.
Next.
So I mean, hey, the Steelers. I mean, they usually always have a good defense, but
Dude,
yeah,
but I like the way they blame Mike Tomlin for everything.
well, he's got to. I don't know. He's been there so long. Guess you got to blame him for something.
Nah, that man, he's a good coach, in my opinion. He's the
Mm.
only thing I like about the Steelers.
I like Juju.
Man, that dude needs to lay off TikTok. He needs
It's
to be
like if
focused.
it's kind of weird because you might want to think like he's not focused, like he's worried about other stuff, which is not a bad thing. I mean, because he's still got something to rely on whenever he's done playing football, but at the same time he's out there dancing on guys' logos, and then you get a random guy from the Bengals and knock him out. You know,
Yeah.
I don't know, Big Ben, he's just watching porn somewhere, I guess. Uh,
I don't know what Big Ben's doing.
yeah, so
Like, for all the haters, I will say it on Facebook. I'll say it to your face. I'll say it wherever you want me to say it. The Steelers are garbage. They're going to be out first round.
hot
Browns all
garbage,
day.
hot garbage, shots fired, and it's okay.
For sure.
We'll allow it. We'll allow the bad talk of the Steelers because I'm
SMU and Baylor. Wait, together?
Yeah, well,
SMU.
SMU is the one you and Roland lived together, right?
No,
What?
that was Baylor.
That was Baylor. Okay, I had them backwards. SMU was me, you, and Marco, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, those are good times, man.
with Rich, the
Yeah,
whole track team.
man, G, all those
G.
guys, man. It was a good time. It was a whole lot of just drinking beer and hanging out, beer pong, and those were my like I always revert to that like when I tell stories at parties, it's usually something involved in there. But what were you supposed to do, college students and
In San Angelo.
incidents, right?
Yeah.
So what do you think about our Sonora Broncos not doing very well, football at least?
I didn't even know what to expect, honestly.
Yeah,
Like, they've got.
my brother played, and at that last game, his last home game. I don't remember if it was the last game of the season or the last just home game, but yeah, they had this some bitch at nose guard.
The hell?
Yeah, it was funny because he would just bear crawl under the center. Yeah, it was cool. It was the coolest thing ever. It wasn't through his legs, but it was like around him, and it was funny as shit, dude. Because I think they played Ballinger, and Ballinger had like a big offensive lineman. I could be wrong on the team they played, but I do know they had a very large offensive line. So my brother would just bear crawl around him, and it was hilarious because they were so much faster than that O lineman could move. But then he figured out that's what he was doing, so he would just take 2 steps
Oh,
back
yeah.
and wait for my brother to get there. So that was a lot of fun watching that. But I thought we were small when we played in high school.
Dude, they've gotten progressively smaller.
These are kids, bro. Like they were
Yeah.
tiny, man. It was funny compared to I talked to my sister about you know the teams that have gone through, and you compare the state team in 2000 to what's going on now. It's
Dude, even the state team compared to, like, your group, it was like men versus
Yeah,
children.
they were very large. That group was a big group of guys, which is kind of weird for being at Sonora, but hey, it worked. It got Sonora state title. Those guys went undefeated.
I look at the kids here, the same age as the kids in Sonora, bro. There's people D1 prospects going to
Yeah, it's fucking
Kentucky.
ridiculous.
It's like
I
these
think
kids are huge.
we need to start feeding the kids in Sonora some hay from the horses or some at least a protein shake every once in a while. But god damn, like they're fucking tiny. And so where's your brother living at? Where's he at exactly?
Italy,
What?
Italy, Naples.
Naples. Okay. I know my
He's at
father-in-law asked me, but I couldn't remember where exactly he lived because my father-in-law's from Rome, the motherland, and he would ask me. I said, "Man, I can't fucking remember." And then I didn't feel like texting you at the time to ask, so I just never even thought about it. But
yeah, he'll be back in June.
June for
Yeah,
how long? Back where?
stateside,
Yeah. Any idea where?
potentially here or El Paso.
Man, that would be cool if it was there, San Antonio.
Yeah,
I mean, he's done his time in El Paso. Why's he gonna go back?
that's what I said. That's what I said. I'm all, you can stay here at the house until you get on your feet until you
Right.
find something yourself. So,
Yeah, I know your mom's been driving the shit out of his truck.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
that Dodge.
Yeah, whenever I went and took that trailer down to pick up something from your mom, she made a comment about driving his truck. Like, why is there so many miles on it already? How's he taking it to San Antonio all the time?
Yeah,
So,
and then I drive it when it's
dude.
here. Yeah.
Hey, I see old Noah. That kid's gotten fucking big, dude.
Dude, I don't understand what it is with all my nephews being over 6 foot.
That's y'all took all the tall genes, man.
They did. I didn't.
Well, you're taller than me. But,
That's not much.
what are you, 5'10"?
5'8".
5'8"? Oh shit, I gave you a couple inches.
You did. Thank you. I should have just said yes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. I saw Vanessa post about him driving.
That's his car. He got
Yeah,
a car.
I know. I saw that and I was like, geez, that kid's tall. compared to what we did for your bachelor party when we were talking about Sam's hot dogs and shit.
Pepper spray.
Yeah, pepper spray. Man, those are
Uh,
times we're gonna talk about whenever we get all the guys on the group, and we'll talk about the old times and how we all got together and how we all met. You know, because obviously, for those of you who don't know, some of our friends are not all from Sonora. You know, we got like Marco and Mark and those guys that are from Sonora who, you know, obviously we hung out with all, you know, all our lives, but we got guys like Tony and Beef and Oscar and some of those guys that have we met along the way, and we've all stayed good friends. And I can't wait for us to. I'll get on that group chat and see when everybody can get together if they got a couple hours to spare, and we'll drink some beer and we'll relive the old times and we'll talk some shit. Oh shit! Did I do something to you? Is that you? Sorry.
I don't know.
I clicked a button on my little thing that I have here, and
Yeah.
it went away. So, oh, it is me. Is that you or me?
Hold on. Don't do anything. It's me.
Oh yeah, it's definitely you, fucker. So how is it being a dad?
Tiring.
Yeah,
Very. But rewarding.
very.
Best, best feeling in the world is coming home. She sees you, lights up.
Yeah, it's crazy. She got a pretty smile, man. I like when you post those pictures of her just happy as shit.
Bro, she's something else, let me tell you. She's a little tank.
Little tank, huh?
Yeah.
Oh,
She's gonna be tall.
bastards again, taking all the tall
Yeah.
genes.
She's gonna be a tall one. She's already tall for her height, in my opinion.
Yeah. How old is she? 1.5?
2 and 4 months.
4 months. Yeah. Okay. Twos, man. God, man. They grow so fast because Carmen's gonna be 8 at the end of the month.
Jesus.
Yeah. So already wanting cell phones and all kinds of other shit that we didn't have growing up. What did we want at 8 years old? Like in a scooter, a remote control race car.
Dude, we could have used a piece of tin to go down that hill. Remember that?
Yeah, I had asked my mom a while back. I was like, you know, girls or boys are usually easier to raise, but they're harder to keep alive. You know, and I was like, well, it wasn't bad. And she brought up that story. It's like, oh, well, you and Cody sliding down the hill at Daddy's house. I was like, oh shit, yeah, I forgot about that. It's like I could imagine as a parent thinking that, like, you got a numbnuts over there sliding down the hill on a piece of sheet metal or a wagon, you know, flipping over each other.
Oh,
and
yeah, busted ass on that.
yeah, and just going back on. It's time to eat. All right, here we go.
And then go back down.
Yeah, you know, those are some crazy things we didn't think of being kids. You know, jumping off your house, or you know, doing just climbing up the hill.
Yeah, and trying to go through a damn freaking cave we didn't even know.
Setting the hill on fire. Remember that?
No.
Good answer.
Yeah, you left me.
I did. I was out of there. I bolted. I wanted no part of that.
Yeah, because what was it? The senior center?
Yeah.
Was about to be lit up.
Yeah. That was us. That was 100% us. You know, playing paintball up there. Just doing all kinds of dumb shit. You know, kids our age did. Hanging out, being with all our friends, and I'm glad we're all still close to these guys. You know, I know you're close to Mark. And
then Mark's hitting that recording studio.
Yeah, I seen him, man. Mark is. I need to plug him.
State of Gray.
State of Gray. There it is. Yes, State of Gray. And I'm glad, like, he's in the studio, which is the coolest thing. Is that, like, he's at that studio level now. He's just not banging drums in his parents' garage or anything like that. He's actually at a studio doing the work, you know. And that's really cool of Mark to do that stuff. So.
Man, one thing I'll say about Mark is that dude has passion for music, constantly going. Once he gets out of work, plays with his kid. He's like is a dad.
Yeah.
Stays at, and right when it's sleep time, gets to work. The dude's nonstop, just constantly working. The dude has
his hair flowing, got his Budweiser, and he's going.
Oh yeah.
Nah. So how's working at Best Buy?
Tiring.
Yeah.
Different. It's different with this damn pandemic.
How long you been there now?
Since 2008.
Damn, bro. That's a long time.
Yeah, it is. I thought about that just right now. It's just
Do you own stock yet?
I should, but I don't.
The only good thing that really came out of this pandemic, or being in quarantine, is we got to spend a lot of time during the summer there at her parents' house, and they got a pool. It was like an 18 by 9, so it was a pretty good pool. That was like 4 foot high. So I barely stuck over whenever I was in the water. So we would just hang out there, and they would be like, "Hey, y'all want to cook tonight?" And my father-in-law, if he wants us to stay, all he does is, "I'll buy you beer." And so he just buys beer for me, and we'll cook and we'll hang out, we'll play board games. So this whole summer was really cool, especially when Carmen was over, because I had Carmen for damn near 2 months, and I had seen her like when we got married in March. I hadn't seen Carmen. I didn't pick her up till May, so after Mother's Day is whenever.
Damn.
So that whole time I hadn't seen Carmen. So finally, that was like, we talked about it, and it was like, okay, we'll go get Carmen, and we brought Carmen back, and that was the best time. All the girls together, because it's all girls and 3 boys. So it gets a little catty every once in a while, but it was a lot of fun, hanging out and doing all that good stuff. But that's a lot of me, like, I really enjoyed that time, but it's like, all right, I gotta work, man. I gotta do something.
Yeah.
So.
And then this came, the CP5 project.
Oh yeah, it took me forever. I know it's not the best name, but it's the best thing I got. No, I wanted to stay away from experience, like the Chris Pettis experience or the CP experience, because of Joe Rogan. His Joe Rogan experience. But it's the best I got. I might change it in time, or I might keep it forever. I still need a logo. I still need sponsors. If you're listening out there, I'll say your name really nice. I got it. Microphone.
You doing ASMR or what?
I guess. I don't know. There's a podcast I follow, that the Back of the House podcast. A cousin of mine is the one who. He's one of the guys that do it.
Dude, Adrian tells me about that shit all the time.
They're great. I'm not sure on his. I don't know how he knows my cousin, but I guess they're friends somewhere down the line. I don't know where they've met, but.
Bro, it's Adrian.
No shit, but
he probably got Zadrian somewhere and met him.
Yeah, no shit. Remember when Zadrian for your was one of the. It had to do with your wedding, but he was taking selfies with random people. Like he would sit.
Dude, that was my wedding. That was the
rehearsal dinner. Yeah, where he went and just sat in a booth with a guy and took a selfie. So yeah, it's just it's a really cool podcast. That they talk about San Angelo. A lot of guys that I know, and so it's interesting to listen to them. And so listening, there was a guy they had on, Gabriel Lucky. I've met him a few times in the gym, and they asked him a question of what his most annoying thing that he does. And he said his wife hates it because he listens to that ASMR shit. Probably not the crunching. There was something he said. I can't remember what it is. But yeah, it just I guess everybody has their own knack or trigger, but I don't know. Like, I don't like to listen to people eat.
Nah. That shit annoys me. I hate hearing people chew.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't irk me to the point where I'm just gonna get mad. I'll walk off.
But you'll give a little look or something like that. Like, yeah, it's kind of funny. You discover people like weird tendencies or weird whatever whenever you talk to somebody on a platform like this. My only platform though is YouTube. So.
Man, there's a guy that I'm friends with here. Huge Laker fan. Huge. But he's also from.
Is he?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a couple Laker fans or friends. Even if they're not from there, but they're all about it. A guy used to work with us in San Angelo. His team was the Lakers, and he was all about it. Now, I don't know how big of a NBA fan you are, but what do you think about LeBron James?
I love the guy. Any team he goes to, he makes it better. 100%. I hate the Lakers. He made them better.
Right. I agree with that. 100%.
Like, I don't understand why people hate on him. He uses his platform in political and non-political ways, but he also uses it to get communities better. Like, look at all the schools that he started. Like, it's hard to hate the guy, but people find a way to hate him.
Right, and everybody doesn't like the decision he made when he went down to Miami. That's fine, but you can't deny his greatness. The guy's one of the best to ever do it. And there was an interesting thing that a friend of mine posted on Facebook, and he said, comparing LeBron to, now this isn't verbatim, so if this guy's watching, I'm sorry, it's not verbatim, but this is what I took from it. He took LeBron James compared to Michael Jordan and the era they played in. He's saying like, people will say LeBron couldn't play in Jordan's era because of the physicality. And then his point was MJ got crossed up by AI, Allen Iverson. So what's to say that MJ couldn't play in today's game, or could play, because these guys can, Kyrie. Fucking Lillard, Damian Lillard, Steph Curry, those guys got handles on him. What makes you think that MJ could have stopped that? And I thought that was a good point too, because not everybody talks about it. It's always about LeBron going back to the past. It's never about MJ coming to the future, trying to play in this era.
The game has changed.
Absolutely.
Mostly because of one individual.
Yeah.
Curry.
Yeah, you're 100% right. Curry changed the game because he's probably the best shooter. And for those of you watching, I'm not a big NBA fan. This is almost a casual fan of watching the game. But to me, Curry can shoot the lights out. Now I know there's Kevin Durant who's pretty good. Klay Thompson is another shooter, just a killer. I don't know if he's got the same drive to the hoop type of game that these guys got, but Steph Curry.
Bro, but Curry changed it on a generational level, because every generation behind him
wants to be Steph Curry.
Yeah, they all shoot threes. Dude shoots it from the freaking half court, shoots it from everywhere, and makes it.
Yeah, and it's not fair, fucker, but yeah, it just, and LeBron, going back to the physicality thing, the guy's fucking, 6'8", 250 pounds?
Yeah.
You don't think he could have took that punishment?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, but that's an argument for, well, I guess we can do that now, but it's not, to me, it's not an argument. Like, he's going to adapt to the game just like MJ would adapt to here, but just flat out saying LeBron couldn't play in the 90s just because you said so, and MJ could come up here and dominate. But
dude, I'm going to say this. They're both GOATs in their certain eras.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of hard to compare them, because they're saying LeBron lost in the finals this many times, but how many times did Jordan not make the finals?
He actually could not beat the Pistons
without Pippen.
90s. Well, not this is like pre-Rodman and stuff. He couldn't beat the Pistons in the late 80s, early 90s, around that area. You had to wait for all these guys to retire, before Chicago really dominated. Now, that doesn't take anything from MJ. MJ is probably the greatest of all time, and I hate saying that. I hate when every athlete uses the term GOAT. I hate that word, but MJ probably is, But LeBron, he's had to go against super teams. Not that he didn't create one himself, but still, whenever he played the Spurs the first time in like '07 or '08, whatever it was.
The big three?
No. This was when he was with Cleveland, and he took LeBron James played the Spurs with as teammates. He had like a mop bucket.
Oh yeah, that team was garbage.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So like that's the one thing that I could say about LeBron is yeah, you're right. He does elevate the team.
But one to piggyback off of that, people saying that the only reason he made it with that mop bucket and himself was because he was in the East. He did it in the West.
Yeah, he did it in the West. You know, fuck it. It doesn't matter where you are. The guy dominated where he went. You know, he's one of the best of all time. Just appreciate fucking the greatness. You know, so witness.
But people don't. Yeah, people don't do that though. They just want to hate. That's
that's our nature though.
Dude, that's what it is. Like, I mean, I do it, but I do it because I'm gonna just announce this to everybody. I do it because I know it stirs everybody up and it makes me laugh.
I knew it.
Yeah.
I knew it.
That shit is funny.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, some of the stuff I post has truth to it. Most of it does. But I find it funny that you get pissed off about it. Yeah. Like, it's just hilarious to me.
Yeah, it's fun. I like reading the comments when people try to attack you over whatever it might be, but
and it doesn't matter what I post at all.
Yeah, it could be political. It could be about the Cowboys. Could be about Dak. It doesn't matter, but it's funny. People are not everybody's gonna agree with you, and
it's funny because the when I post it, I have certain individuals in mind.
Yeah.
And those individuals are the ones that come.
Oh, I love your level of pettiness there.
Awesome. Yeah, like if I know it's gonna piss somebody off, and listen, it could be a Tuesday night at 10 a.m. and I'm just bored.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm doing.
Hell yeah. So there's it's funny because I couldn't tell you who's gonna win the NBA title this year, but I'm always gonna say the Spurs, just for fun.
Bro, they don't have it.
I don't get it. Spurs are gonna win it all. I'm telling you.
Bro, I'm a Spurs fan. I'm telling you, but no.
I'm not as educated in that. I could tell you football or NFL, and then I could tell you baseball. That's about it. But because of my investment in both respective sports, I'm a fan. I barely watch basketball. I might watch the Spurs. I might watch LeBron, but that's about it.
All I gotta say is with the Spurs, the farming system isn't working anymore in this era. It's not.
No. We don't have any more Ginobili's or Tony Parkers. Fuck. Is Tim gonna come back?
No.
Fuck, man. Well, thanks for shattering my dreams.
I mean, DeRozan's good. Every time he shoots, it goes in.
But that's it, right?
But he doesn't got a three.
Oh, nobody. No.
And that's what we're lacking: 3-point shooting.
And San Antonio used to be really good at that all the time.
Yeah, but we're not.
Is he still that Aussie?
Man, he's hit and miss. He's a role player. That's all San Antonio is role players. We don't have any stars.
I know. I really thought that Tony Parker was gonna groom Patty Mills to be the next Tony Parker. But
no.
Goddamn, Tony Parker was out there cheating on Longoria, sorry. Wrong Mexican.
Yeah, and I saw him and his girlfriend were sitting on the floor at Best Buy one time. Funny.
Fucking Frenchman.
So, another good boxing fight that I want to see is Terrence Crawford and Earl Spencer Jr.
Yeah. Excuse me. I've heard a lot of that. I've heard a lot of Terrence Crawford fighting Spence. No idea. I've never seen either one of them fight. So,
bro, they're both in their prime. Another good fight. So, one of my probably favorite fighters is in the heavyweight division, Tyson Fury. Anthony Joshua. That's another fight.
Yeah, he's from the UK.
Yeah. Tank and Lopez, the guy who beat Lomachenko.
Lomo.
A lot of people want to see that fight too.
What's the guy that Tyson Fury's been beating up? Deontay Wilder.
Yeah, I want to see him come back. I want to see what that dude. That dude relies on straight power.
See that? Yes, and the reason I agree with you is I've seen the highlights, but on the podcast Back of the House, they had a guy named Terrence Fields on, and he's a big boxing guy, and so are the Back of the House guys, and they were talking, and what it was Wilder doesn't know really how to box. It was just mostly, he relies on his power. He's gonna knock you out. But Fury knows how to fight. Like, he knows how to box.
Oh yeah, he's like one of the best, like, pound for pound boxers out there.
Yeah, so that's what I took out of that. Then they started getting into Crawford and Spence, and when that episode aired, it was before the Loma fight, Lopez Loma fight, and so but they were all taking Lopez.
Yeah.
And to me, I was like, man, I really like Lomachenko. That's why I asked that question on Facebook. And I got all these DMs about it. You know, one of our buddies, Travis Valiant, was DMing me videos and workouts.
You know that man's a rugby player now?
Yeah, he's been a rugby player for a minute.
Yeah.
I ran into him in a bar a few years ago in San Angelo, and that motherfucker is taller than I remember. And I know I'm short, but this guy was towering over me. And I was like, Jesus, did you grow? And I know his brother, right? I went to high school with him, and old Tom Valiant's all fucking 6'12" and shit. But that's just a tall family. And I was
sorry, change subject back to boxing. Mike Tyson and Evander Holyfield 3.
I did see that, because after the Tyson fight, Evander Holyfield was just like, I'm ready. Let's go. And Holyfield's got a kid playing college football.
That's right.
Crazy. Him, Jerry Rice.
Hey, did Moss's kid get picked up?
Thaddeus Moss. I don't know. And if he would have, it would have been this past draft.
Yeah.
He was at LSU, right? I think.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
I don't know if he did. And if he did, obviously he didn't do very well, because I hadn't heard of him.
Yeah.
I saw a real quick thing here. I saw a deal, speaking of rookie wide receivers, the Eagles. I saw a video. It was the Minnesota Vikings war room, you know, where they draft players. They were laughing at the Eagles for taking Jalen Reagor over Justin Jefferson. Like, it's like, what the fuck is the Eagles doing? You know, Justin Jefferson, obviously, I mean, he's going to win Offensive Rookie of the Year. And then you got Jalen Reagor, who eventually, or every once in a while, catches a pass for the Eagles.
Yeah.
And I thought that was fucking hilarious. It's just, any way I can jab the Eagles, I will.
Die, Eagles, die.
That's why I went so hard on Carson Wentz in my fucking video. It's like, I knew he was trash. He was great 1 year, and I was worried. I was like, fuck, we got to deal with this for the next 15 years? Nah, man. Ever since he got hurt. And I never want to wish injury on anybody, but the guy's just not good anymore. I think it's a mental thing.
I agree.
I was asking my sister a couple months ago. I was like, who would have won between my squad and her squad? You know, whenever they went to the state semis. And she's like, oh, we would have won. It was bullshit. You know, I don't.
They were tiny.
Well, they weren't as much as tiny, but they were some dogs that played. Like, they were really good. Obviously, they went.
Bro, listen. You had the Duhans in the middle.
Yeah, that's right. That's what I had to tell her. Like, well, my sophomore squad, man, we had Scotty Moore, Zed Snodgrass, fucking Tom Valiant, Larry Hall, Diego Cardona.
I hated all of them.
I know you did. But
I hated all.
That, I think your freshman year was the last time we were able to hit JV players.
Yeah, because everybody's being little bitches about it.
Yeah, no shit. Then Chris Martin, Austin Wagner, Wilson Wallace. Yeah, we had some killers on our squad, man. To me, that was our best squad that I played with. Was my sophomore year team. You
Oh,
know,
they were purposely trying to kill whoever was had the ball.
yeah, that was a lot of fun, man. I know I touched you up one time. I think that was the only time I hit you where you felt
I
it.
was,
I know. You stop in the hole. My job is to fill the hole. So I
I,
decided to take my shot. That's
I
it.
had to rebuild it.
Got to start taking care of that body now. We're getting older.
Yeah, I don't want to fall apart.
Yeah, my shit hurts sometimes. I got bad shoulders. Luckily, I don't have bad knees.
I have a bad knee.
I don't have bad. Well, you've been fucked up for a long time, but
Dude, that one knee, that thing moves around still. One day, I was trying to put a liner down, and it got stuck in between the tendon, and it locked, and I couldn't fall, so I just let it hurt more, and then it bruised the whole side of my knee. Bullshit.
yeah, this guy's got a kneecap that moves. Might not be his knee. What is it? Is it
I
the
think it's a
back of
piece
your
of cardboard
kneecap?
supposed to go behind the kneecap.
Yeah, that's right. But it's crazy because if you look at it, it moves. It looks like a big leech or a big bug that's inside his knee that you could see him move shit around. If you're not, or if you're squirmish, you're not gonna want to look at it because it is definitely gonna fuck you up. Because Cody, I know being in two-a-days and shit, I used to see you just walk by. Oh damn, what's wrong with Cody? Oh, that's wrong. Yeah. Oh, there's Cody again. Goddamn.
Bro, I was always hurt. I gave up. I was like,
Yeah,
fuck it.
but you weren't hurt to the point to where you couldn't play anymore. You were just you had minor injuries a lot.
I just wanted to work out, honestly.
No, I know you were. That's one thing I wanted to bring up. I'm glad you reminded me because when we were growing up, you were always real skinny, really small. Maybe not short, but you were really skinny. And then one day, one summer, you were jacked. That's what I remember. Is like I remember you beefing up. You were hitting the gym a lot, and it's not like you were taking steroids or anything like that. You found supplements. Am I wrong? Okay, so you found supplements. You found nothing. And for those of you out there, it's not anything wrong. It was just supplements, protein, stuff like that. But
To be
this man,
fair, supplements I took are now illegal.
well, I didn't want to say that out loud, but what wasn't illegal at the time? But yeah, he came up and what was it your freshman year? What'd you weigh? You were really small, weren't you?
Freshman year, I weighed like 125,
Yeah, you were real small, and then over a summer you got up to what?
175.
Right, and it might not have been just one summer though. It was probably through the course of
It
your
was,
freshman and sophomore year.
yeah.
Yeah,
So like, the coaching, the coaches we had back then, like
yeah,
Cox, Boo, all of them.
yeah.
They pushed, and then, dude, I found passion for the weight room. That's all I
Right.
wanted to do.
And that's one thing. Fred Buchanan, if he ever decides to watch this, he was actually my favorite coach. Is Yeah, he was really good in the weight room, and then he was also my position coach at one time, and then obviously my head baseball coach. But he was my favorite coach because he pushed you in a way that coaches are supposed to push you, and then he impacted my life. I would say, as far as the way I look at things and stuff like that. But Coach Fred Buchanan was one guy in the weight room that he was our strength and conditioning coach, wasn't
Yeah.
he? I believe so. Yeah, I'm glad he was able to do that for you. And then obviously Coach Cox, he was an offensive line coach, and so he dealt with all the big boys.
Yeah, dude, I love the gym, like, because of him. And then
Mhm.
I still hold that passion today.
Yeah, because I remember there's a picture of you. Believe it or not, guys, he was a punter, and for our high school football team. And there's a picture of you dropping the ball to kick, but your arm is out, but it's like shredded. You got veins looking like a road map coming out of your arm, and
I
it's
try.
yeah, it was funny. It wasn't funny. It was just an awesome picture because you don't expect that from your high school punter. And I don't condone hating on punting anymore because one of my biggest influencers and why I'm doing this now is Pat McAfee. And if you ever
Yeah,
watched this guy,
yeah,
he was a punter for the Colts, and him, the guys from Black Rifle, so like Matt Best, Evan Hafer, not so much him, but like Jared Taylor. Those guys are why I wanting to start doing this. But yeah, Pat McAfee, awesome fucking follow. If you follow him, he's
dude, he's
I watch his show
crazy.
almost daily. So he is, and then plus he has an inside view on the NFL. Even though he was a punter, he was a kicker, but he, if you listen to a lot of his old stuff, it has a lot to do with like locker room etiquette and contract, like what the real NFL life is like. And yeah, that's why I don't want no slander against punters and kickers, just because I'm a fan of Pat McAfee.
Man, those dudes, their job is sometimes more stressful than anybody else's.
Punters, yeah, because they get all the blame, sometimes
And
the
then,
credit. So,
hey, bro, Koo from the Atlanta
oh
Falcons,
yeah, Young Wei
that,
Koo,
that was my kicker.
and he
That
missed.
boy, man, that boy got me like 22 points a game.
Yeah, and he missed to beat somebody
Dude,
recently.
did that honestly surprise you though?
Not being not being a Falcons fan, no. But
Yeah, I'll be right back.
oh, welcome back. Thank you for joining us again after the commercial break.
Yes, sir.
That's a whole lot of bullshit right there, but that's cool. I like to dream a little bit.
Practice makes perfect.
That's right. So, what would be your dream job?
Man, I've thought about that, and I still think about it, and I honestly have no idea.
No idea.
They- Because it's kind of like in the part like, what do I want to do? Like, honestly, doing something like this, making money off of something like this, where it's just, hey, us going out there having a good time, talking about what we did in the past, and like being a thing to others, that'd be great to do. To be completely honest, like make money off of that, make our living off of that.
Right.
But honestly, I have no idea, man. That's a question that's always kind of everybody's. What do you want to be when you grow up? No idea.
Now,
Like,
what did you have an idea whenever you were younger of what you could be?
yeah, I wanted to be a cop, but then my tickets got in my way.
That'll happen. But that was whenever you were realistically looking for a career. So as a young lad, what did you want to be growing up? Like, I know I asked my daughter this, and I ask her this a lot because the shit changes all the time. She wanted to go to
Yeah,
space. She wanted to be a paleontologist. Paleontologist. She wanted to be a storm chaser. What did you want to be as a kid?
man, it was honestly a cop.
Yeah, you always want to be 5-0.
I did.
Right.
I mean, I even got a degree in it,
I know.
criminal sociology, double majored in it, and I'm just there wasting away.
Oh, it's always fun to dream a little bit. Very first thing I ever wanted to be was a fighter pilot. I wanted to fly planes to kill people. Not really kill people, but I wanted to fly the jets and shoot shit out of the air. Other than that, I
Yeah,
want to play.
you were into that game Ace Pilot.
Yeah, yeah. Whenever we had shakies there in San Angelo. Yeah. After that, I think in middle school when I discovered football, I want to be in the NFL, and then genetics took over and said no. And other than that, I just kind of took life as it came to me. Bartended, I was a personal trainer, uh, random things like that. So, but I took it as dealing with people mostly. So, like as a bartender, I was always talking to people, you know, having conversations. Really, being a personal trainer, while they were working out, there's conversations that happen. So I would talk to them, and then, doing what I'm doing now. Because, I was talking to myself a lot, just talking shit as far as like doing my videos. But you being my very first guest, I'm like, it's like, I can get down and talk some sports or life or whatever, and then put it on the internet just because I can, because I want people to see what we talk about, and then maybe talk to other people as well. Because I got a few other guys in mind outside of the people that we mutually know, but
yeah,
I want to put that out there and then get my opinions across on certain things, because I know I've gone back and forth mainly about Dak or the Cowboys, but there's going to be some other things, because I can't wait to have conversations about basketball and about LeBron James, because there's going to be guys out there that don't feel the same way we do about LeBron, or there's going to be some people who don't feel that same way about Chipper Jones and the Braves or whatever. So,
dude, Chipper was one of the best players in the MLB.
Yeah, best ever. No, yeah, he's the reason. Him and Andrew Jones, they were the reasons I stuck with the Braves at a young age, because I don't know if you know this, but do you know why I'm a Braves fan?
No, I never knew why.
Never knew why. Okay, I get this question a lot, because usually people are like, "Well, you're I have no ties to Georgia or Atlanta. They're like, why are you a Braves fan? I lived in Texas my whole life." Well, this is the very simple reason why. Growing up, I was a young kid. I played baseball, Little League and stuff like that. Went into my room, turned on the TV, and I'm scrolling. And in Sonora, Texas, at the time, Channel 28 was Fox Sports, whatever, Southwest or something like that, which played the Astros. The Astros are always at the time. Channel 29 was TBS. Now, the owner of TBS was Ted Turner, who was also the owner of the Braves at the time. So I constantly got to watch the Braves. I came one channel away from being an Astros fan. I don't know if it was a commercial break or what, but there was no baseball playing. Channel 29, I saw Chipper Jones, Andrew Jones, Greg Maddux, all those guys. I was like, oh shit. Okay, I like these guys. And ever since then, I was under 10 years old. I don't know how old I was, but my dad used to make fun of me, because my dad, when he was lifting weights, the weight set was in my room. And so he would be lifting weights in my room, but I'd be watching the Braves. And he used to give
I remember that, the concrete weights.
The concrete weights, yeah.
Yeah.
The concrete weights, and that's all. I would watch baseball, and he'd make fun of me. He's like, they suck, whatever. And ever since then, I was a Braves fan, and that's why I stuck to being a Braves fan. So they were good in the 90s, just like the Cowboys. They won the World Series the same time the Cowboys won their last Super Bowl. Because if the Braves won if they won the World Series, I was gonna put $1,000 on the Cowboys to win the Super Bowl this year, just because that was the last time they won it, was at the same time.
Don't do that.
Yeah, I'm glad I didn't, because the Braves lost.
Yeah. Don't do that.
Other than that, guys, thanks for tuning in to the CP5 project. Big shout out to Cody Perez over there in San Antonio, Texas. Hopefully we have him on soon. I'm willing to bet we do. And this episode was brought to you by absolutely nobody. Once again, do not have a sponsor, but maybe Hurley does, and Shinerbach, and that great mustache. Thanks, Cody.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having
me. Yes, sir. Thanks for having, or you guys have a great new year. You got a beautiful wife, beautiful kid, and much love to you and your family.
Likewise, sir.
All right. Thanks, buddy.
Yes, sir.